So what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Talk to Foe show. Got some special guests coming on tonight, but before I start, I just want everybody to send prayers to the family and friends and coworkers of a good friend I lost this week. Unexpected. It hurt, so continue to rest in heaven, crater, and watch over all of us. You're gonna be missed. But I got some special guests from Music City Mizfits out of Nashville, Tennessee, coming on tonight. They're going to tell us about their program, about their championship they won in 2016, when they started, their tryouts, and what all they got going on for next season. So I'm going to bring them on in just a second. Jinju, what it do? I be forgetting how to add folks sometimes, y'all. No, not that. There we go. Times I done did these lives, I forget which button to push for people to join. But shout out to everybody who's been following.
It's facing the wrong.
Oh no.
Yes, like I said,
Hey, what's up?
what's going on with you guys?
How you doing?
Real good. What about you?
Doing pretty good.
All right.
So go ahead and introduce yourselves.
My name's Don Ragsdale. I'm the former head coach and current director of operations for the Music City Mizfits.
Jennika Watts. Everything on the team. Wide receiver, running back on the team, and playing with the team about this will be my 8th season coming up.
8th season, okay. So tell us, guys, when did this organization start, and give us a little background information about it.
All right, so the team started in 2016. It was kind of an offshoot of a couple of other teams that have been in Nashville before, the Nashville Smashers and the Southern Valkyrie. The Valkyrie kind of disbanded mid-season in 2015. A lot of the players that were on the team still wanted to play football. It convinced my wife, Donita, to start her own team, and the Music City Mizfits started in 2016.
I gotta mess with you right quick, because people say we sound country from Mississippi.
Is that shade? Right here.
Well, we've been down in Mississippi before. We know y'all do sound country down there.
You know what I'm saying?
We do up here too.
Yep, I ain't gonna lie, I'm country. So let's go back to 2016, because your first season, you guys won the Ladies American Football League Championship, right?
That's right.
Can you tell us a little more about that? And how did that first season go?
Yeah, so it was, obviously our first season. We did have some veteran teams, as I mentioned, from a couple previous teams, but it was an 8-man league, or an 8-woman league, I should say. I don't know if you've ever experienced 8-man football, but it is so fun. We used to put like 70 points every game. We had a pretty good season. We did play, I think it was 2 11-man games that year to just kind of test and see where we were as far as all that stuff was concerned. After we had won the championship, we pretty much decided to make the jump to the WFA.
Gotcha. And then I looked, your first season in the WFA, which was 2017, you guys went 5-3.
That's right. Yep. Just barely missed the playoffs.
Because you guys are in that Southwest division, right?
That Southeast, yeah. This is probably the toughest division in the WFA, I would say.
Because I was looking at some of the teams, especially with Orlando and Archie over there. So let's go to this season. This season was a pretty down year for you guys. So what did you learn from this season about your team?
Well, I don't have quitters. I know that. They fought every single game. We were in every game but one, I would say, up to halftime. We had a pretty young team, 30 players, but only 6 of them had ever played football before. So when you got 24 brand new people, you're bound to have some troubles. I think we were the most penalized team in the league last season.
I did see y'all were number 1 in penalties.
We made some number 1. There you go.
But I would say that's pretty much just a testament to our youth,
Go, because
I was just gonna say with it being all the seasons I played with some down seasons and some up seasons, and this was our worst season that I've been a part of the organization. But I especially like the last game, even though again in it to close, and it didn't feel bad. It felt like the brink of the next, like we're moving on to the next step. Like it's something we had to go through. So that's kind of how I look at it as, a building point,
I saw y'all pretty much had a winning season every season and stuff. And you was 3-4 in 2018. 4-0 in 2019, 2021.
Yeah, 2018, we still made the playoffs even though we were 3-4, and we played a team called the Mississippi Royalty, and we went into that game with a game plan, and everything that we had seen on film was stop number 7, Regina Jackson. And I think we did a pretty good job of doing that in that game. As a matter of fact, at one point she had been taken out. I think we were the only team that held her under 100 yards that year. But there was a player on the field that night for the Mississippi Royalty that really hurt us. And she wore number 1. And she made a couple of big catches in that game that really hurt us.
And I was going back because my old coach from the Royalty sent me pictures.
Okay.
And it was actually from that game. I'm sitting there like, I think this was the Mizfits. But I wasn't for sure until you guys, because I went back, I'm looking, I'm like, let me go find some old pictures of them. I'm like, man, I think this them. But I don't know. Now that you guys have mentioned it, I thought that was you guys. It was a fun game.
Yeah. We need to find out. That's probably the most humid environment I have ever been in my life. Hattiesburg, Mississippi in June is something else.
Mississippi heat is something else.
It's going to take some getting used to, I would say.
Yeah. I was happy to get back home.
So it's not hot in Tennessee? In Nashville?
It's the different type of hot. This is normal. You could breathe in this. I've never not been able to breathe in a game or like anything like that until I went down there. We went to halftime and everybody was just like, I guess it was just a shock, it was just a surprise,
That's how I feel when we go to Texas.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Be like, wait, this is not the heat we got back at home.
Yeah, I swear.
Right. Yep.
So I got a question for you both. How is it to have multiple teams in Nashville? Does that hurt recruiting or?
The elephant in the room. Well, I'll say this. Since the Trojans hit the scene this past season, it has really forced us to reevaluate what we do and how we do things and made us step our game up. I feel like it's the same thing off of the field as it is on the field. Competition's only going to make you better. And hopefully, we push them too and have them, doing great things as well. So just kind of feeding off of what they're doing and building off of what we've been doing over the years.
For me, so I'm gonna be totally honest. I'm a very loyal person, very dedicated, very about what I'm a part of. So when it first came up, it was kind of difficult to get used to not playing with, people that you played with before, watching them do other things, watching them promote. But to see the growth that everybody's had has been fun, and if anything else, it just proves that Tennessee's going to become a contender in this and having women be athletes, that we have enough to start building other teams. And, hopefully as we continue to thrive, we can figure out what we can do together, what we need to do separate, and everybody can grow. But I guess that's the positive side of it is we have enough people that are interested in the sport, excited to be a part of it, wanted to build something to, help all women at the end of the day. So that's kind of how I'm trying to look at it now.
Yes, that's a positive and great outlook on it. Coach Ragsdale, we got a question for you from Terry. My question is, how do you guys pick which league to be a part of, and what is the biggest factors for the Mizfits?
For us, really, it come down to factors like travel. How much you're going to have to travel during the regular season. Honestly, I think both leagues do some good things, and then both leagues also do some things that you could do better. To me, the ironic thing is the things that the WNFC does well and the things that the WFA does well. If they kind of put those two things together, you would probably have a really good product. Now, just an outsider, I don't know why that's not a thing or why nobody has considered it.
I'm not going to answer it. But
and when we get off of here, if you could just clue me in a little bit. But honestly, money is a big part of it. Our budget probably one long road trip during the regular season is max, and then after that, you want to have closer games. You want to be able to kind of get back after a game, at a decent time. It really is, it's nothing other than what's beneficial for your team and what you're trying to do. Each of them, like I said, has their own pros and cons, and it's really just what is it that you're trying to do. For us, the money became a situation. We don't want to sit here and charge our players $1,500 to play football, just so we can go, a 12-hour road trip every 3 weeks.
$1,500.
I've heard some things.
Some people.
So for us, we try to keep the cost low in order for people to be able to play. So we only charge $300 for rookies, and then after you've played a season, you don't have to pay a player fee.
Which I love.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. I think the biggest problem in women's football is you have the team fees, which some teams doesn't charge anything.
Yeah.
Some teams fundraise for the fees, and then, like, I have heard of teams who have very expensive fees, but they take care of the travel part. So I can't be mad at that, especially if you're gonna take care of my hotel and how I'm gonna get there. But I'm trying to pay that much money. But I like traveling on the airplane, so if I can't get on the plane, you might get me there. So to each is his own, but that's my preference.
Absolutely.
Because you get me in a car or van for too long, my legs don't stop working on.
Well, for me, I'd like to be as close to the ground as possible. So,
so you don't like fly, in other words.
I'll do it if I have to. It's not something I'm looking to do, often.
The WFA championship weekend, we went to Ohio, and that was the first time I flew on a plane, and I had to document every piece of it because I was a nervous wreck, and that kept me distracted from being nervous. But it was fun. It was great. I completely agree. I was like, I could travel like this a lot, but I also like the ground. So.
Yeah, my first flight, I was terrified. I ain't gonna tell y'all about it. Yeah. Talk about me because I didn't know it was a restroom in the back of the plane, and I'm like, somebody's about to do something to the plane.
I hear that.
And he was like, chill. So, what was your guys' longest road trip this season?
We had to go to Bishopville, South Carolina, probably about an hour and a half outside of Columbia. About 9 hours?
I think.
Yeah, about a 9-hour trip, so that was an overnighter.
Depressing.
I've never heard of it, so the city sounds depressing.
There's nothing in Bishopville, South Carolina. It's pretty small. There's a football field, and that's about it.
And it sucks because you get out there, and you're like, okay, after the game, we're going to go do nothing because there ain't nothing to do within 45 minutes a year. I can't go to Walmart, nothing.
I would have been miserable. I'd be like, wait, time out. So yeah, my father's trip this past season was Denver. So
Denver, okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's ugly.
Yeah. So how big is you guys' roster size?
So like I said, we had 30 last season. Looks like we're going to be returning 17, I believe. And we've already picked up about a dozen. So we're right back where pretty much we were last season. And then as far as recruiting and stuff, we had a list of about 40 names. So it looks like we're going to have a pretty good sized roster this year.
And since we're talking about that, go ahead and tell us about tryouts.
Oh, tryouts. October 14th. Well, the National Tryout Day for both leagues is very important. I like the fact that the WFA has tried to kind of get everybody on the same page with this stuff as far as like promotional material. It should be an exciting day. Basically, we're going to be looking for, athletes. We need to see how fast you are, what kind of agility that you have, strength. Can you throw a ball? Can you catch a ball? All the basic stuff. So we're really excited about October 14th coming up.
And where is tryouts going to be held at? If
We're
you guys have the information already.
Okay, yeah, we're at Edgehill Park, 1450 14th Avenue South in Nashville. It's right across from Belmont University.
And what time?
3 p.m.
3 p.m. Good. It may be a little cool. Who knows? The latest weather has been.
I think that's going to work out in our favor, to be honest with you.
So, yeah, like I said, I've been to Nashville once. Once. And that was to see one of my good friends graduate from Trooper School, but I was in and out. So, and then it was during the winter, so I definitely was ready to go.
It's a beautiful city. You should come up here and spend the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And when I come, I'm gonna make sure I link up with y'all. I'm like, hey,
Absolutely.
I actually have a friend that I don't know which team she's going to try out for in Nashville, but I sent her information on both teams. So hopefully, you might say it. She may be at both tryouts, but she was played with the Royalty when I was there. Damn good player, lineman.
Okay.
So I'm ready to see her back on the field. So hopefully.
I know both teams need linemen. Everybody needs linemen.
It's a common factor.
So I was looking at the stats from this past season. So I saw, did you all have one or two quarterbacks before I make my next statement?
So the offense that we run is, I would say, it's kind of positionless. We play kind of a positionless type of offense. We have for the past 3 years. We try to have a couple of people out on the field at any given point in time that can throw the ball. That doesn't necessarily mean that you don't have one primary quarterback over the other, but just in a way to kind of throw the defense off. It's worked for us. For the past 3 years, we've set records on offense. So
I saw Lachey. I'm not going to say the last name. Is it Shoot?
Yeah.
Oh, so I would have been right.
You on it, man.
You're right.
Because I saw, I was looking at the stats, the league leaders in the league, and I saw stats at quarterback, and I paid attention to, she led you guys with 401 yards rushing and 3 touchdowns.
Right, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So can you tell me
she's decided to depart the team this season, which is, fine by us.
Okay.
So we'll be looking to replace her with a young lady named Natalie. She came on last season, and again, it was her first year, but by the end of the year, I think she really grasped what we were trying to do, and she's got like tremendous athletic ability. She's going to be something special.
Natalie, is this someone with the name? I got a teammate by the name of Natalie. This will be her 3rd year next season, and she's a hell of a player. So I'm sure you guys want to develop her, and y'all going to have something special over there in Nashville. Can't wait I'll be checking it out. Because I try to keep up. I try to follow all players, but it's kind of hard at times trying to keep up with everybody. But I'm sure.
Yeah, and, I would say that I love to see what the athletes of women's football are doing, but I would love for y'all to put a lot more stuff out there so that we can see the stuff too.
Listen. I try to promote stuff on my page, and that's why with my page, I don't just come on here and let's say I talk about WMC and bring all WMC players. I want everybody to see players in WFA. USFL was a little hard for me because thankfully after I did mention it, they didn't have a website. Now they have a website. So it was a little hard to follow because I don't have somewhere where I can go see the entire schedule for the league.
I don't think it's the USWFL anymore. I think they've changed their name.
See, that's
I think we got like 8 now, 7 or 8 leagues, 7, 8 or 9. It's somewhere in that area. Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I just saw somebody lost in a championship, and that's thing, they coming up with a league. So wow.
Funny how that happens.
In my opinion, that stunts the growth of women's football when we have all these other leagues, especially the ones that is made because they're mad at something they didn't like. And yeah, so that's another story. We ain't gonna talk about that.
Well, no, I agree with you. You know, the things done out of spite tend to get divided, and things done out of love tend to get multiplied. And, you know, I guess everybody feels like they can do it better. You know, I don't know that they can, but, you know, that's the good thing about, like, the WFA being there. They've been around for a while, so it's solid footing. We feel comfortable there. You know, we don't feel like it's going to fold or somebody's going to, you know, throw a fit and we're not going to play football for the WFA next year. It's pretty solid.
Steal your money.
I would also say, you know, confusion-wise, you know, when I joined, again, you know, several years ago, there was the WFA. That's what I knew about. I know there were other things, but that was the big thing. And now players will come in, you know, we have people that are like, well, what's this? And oh, I saw this. And is that who we are? And I'm like, no, don't worry about none of that. Just like it does. It dilutes everything at to a point. So, yeah, like, you know, what he was saying earlier, I would love to see everybody kind of figure it out, you know, make the business idea and, you know, the growth of it more important than our egos, more important than, you know, trying to be the number one.
Yeah. Oh, my word.
But, ego. It's a buzzword right now, ego.
Yeah. Do you guys, I know you guys have always been in D3, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Do you guys have any plans to ever move up to D2?
I think after this season, it's time. You know, we were really planning on doing it after this past season, but things, you know, worked out the way that they did. So I feel like with the core that we have going into the 2024 year, and then after that, yeah, we'll be ready for D2 for sure.
Gotcha. And then I have a question for you guys. You have D1, D2, D3, and then you have developmental. Do you feel developmental should be in D3, or do you feel? How do you feel about all the different divisions?
I understand the concept, and trust me, you know, giving people a chance is great. But like for instance, the South Carolina team, you know, they really didn't have their stuff together this past season, and this, from what I understand, this was their second season in developmental. And it wasn't even really the stuff just on the field. It was, you know, other things off of the field too that you could tell were problems. Like I said, I understand we want to give people a chance, but I also think, you know, like you're talking about diluting the product, it doesn't make everything, you know, look better as far as stuff is concerned. So I don't know what you do about those situations, you know. Do you leave somebody out in the cold, or
you want to give everybody an opportunity, but you got to be realistic too.
Yeah.
I think sometimes with leagues, the standard aspect kind of shies away at times because, like you said, you want to give everybody a chance, but are they making your product better, and how are they making your product look? So.
We're trying to push this thing into a different level, and it's really hard to do when everybody's not on the same page like that.
Right. Like, I want to see women's football players get paid one day. I'm sure I'll be retired, but I want to be able to say I played a part in that. Hopefully it happens sooner rather than later. But
yeah. So yeah, I mean, actually, you know, we kind of feel like we're pushing that part of the thing along with our NIL program. Kind of like the college kids do. They get matched up with brands and they get paid for, you know, putting out tweets or Instagrams or whatever. And so we were the first team to bring that into women's football.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So is it with the one NIL, or was it another NIL deal?
All right. So we actually started with our own in-house NIL program where I would basically get the athletes' interest. You know, what do you like? What brands do you like? You know, and then try to match them up with a brand that was suitable for them as far as that stuff is concerned. Because, you know, if you believe in something or if you really like something, you're going to be a good salesperson for it. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of how we started. Actually, the whole thing I planned out, and this is one of the very few things in my life that I had a plan for, that everything went better than planned. Kind of had to show that we could, you know, get the brands, work with them, put good looking content out there for them, The next step of the plan for me was, well, I need to find agents for these people. And it didn't take too long till we hooked up with Front End Sports after we had started putting out these branding posts. They were looking for underrepresented groups, and I don't know any group that's more underrepresented than women's football. So it was kind of like a match made in heaven. They've been able to help us with our branding and promoting, getting athletes big money deals, you know, working with them for player cards or fan jerseys, and you know, there's going to be comic books. You know, the One Neil is coming out. It's going to be like a subscription-based service for these athletes where they can make even more money, just putting their own content out. So women's football is changing in that regard, and it's changing in a good way.
Yeah, it is. So you Mr. Do It All. You the man with the plan. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, that's why I had to be the former head coach, because it was driving me crazy, man. I had to let something go.
Because it seems like you're doing a lot behind the scenes for the team and for women's football in general. You're making a lot happen.
Trying to, man. I'm trying.
So the all-around player over there. Tell us who's the leader of the team.
We typically have a couple of different people that I feel like people look to. I would say, you know, our quarterback's always going to be somebody that people look to. So we had that. Your center's always somebody that we look to. But unfortunately, those are some of the people that have chosen to move on now. So this last season, we fortunately, we had those two as captains, but we also had some rookies come in as captains. So that's kind of helped segue into this season where they've got, you know, a couple of us vets that have been here longer than them that we're still supporting them, but then they still, you know, now they feel more empowered. Now they've got that year under their belt. They're kind of stepping up and taking charge and making things happen. We've got some rookies that have never, you know, been a captain or ever, you know, tried to be a captain, who are now stepping up, making community service projects happen, like, without question, building our bonding up, you know, and that's why I say, you know, last year I felt like while it was a down season, it seemed to have been a stepping stone for so much, you know. I ain't gonna do it, but you know what I'm saying, you know, somebody back here with the name Jennika may be trying to, I'm stepping my game up, and I'm trying to make sure that I'm trying to motivate from the more serious side of things. You know, when you were talking about tryouts earlier, you know, we want everybody to get the opportunity and the chance, but I'm also kind of trying to keep the focus, trying to keep it serious, trying to, from the very beginning of you just stepping on the field, knowing that what our goal is, what we're going to push towards, how we're going to do it, and what we can do to help you, you know. So just trying to overall do that. We've got Gwen. She's been on the team a long time. I'm seeing her step up a whole lot. Gwen Hardison. All our vets are stepping up. Everybody's kind of like building on Natalie, even, as, you know, I'm boosting her head behind the scenes, like, hey, friend, you know, you're gonna be the one that we're looking to, and she knows. So I expect a lot of people to lead, actually, this year. I expect everybody that's been a part of the team already to step up and lead a little bit, you know.
Sounds kind of like a leader right here, huh?
Yeah, I was about to say that. So she didn't say to everybody but herself, really, you know. So. Yeah, I was about to say, so are you more of a vocal leader or are you more of a shower? I'm for the show.
I don't know. One am I? I'm very vocal. I'll say that regardless. I do try to lead by example if I can, but I mean, I respect my limitations, but I know what needs to be done a lot. I feel like I've been around a long time. I've been a part of a lot of different leaderships. And actually, this is the first sport that I played. I was a brand new, never played sports before person. So now that I've gotten used to
tell her what you did.
It was the coolest thing ever. I was a band trumpet player marching out here. There's no shade in there.
We got the band member. Oh,
absolutely. Absolutely. And I try to like use things that I learned from that, you know, to help. You know, same thing with building the branding. We've kind of tried to build our home game experience with having halftime shows and having cheerleaders in the stands. And you know, if I'm lucky enough to have a little pep band, that would be the greatest, you know, just everything we could do to make the product something that people want. And I can have fun doing it, you know. So it's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun. I feel like I've learned a lot about myself as a person just from being a part of this.
I think you're the first person I ever talked to that didn't mention some type of sport that they played. Band.
Oh yeah.
So what got you into football? How did you?
I met Gwen in 2017, 2017, and she actually used to play
the Nashville Heat.
Yeah. Years ago, probably when I was 18, 19, and so I was sad I never knew about it. She stopped playing, and then we kind of just happened to come across the Facebook post one day about the Mizfits. She said she was going to try out, and we jumped into it, and I honestly came to tryouts like I'm fast and I'm an aggressive person, so I should fit in. So, and I went and I was fast, but I was not as aggressive as I thought I was. I recognized my size once I actually got out there with some folks, but I think I built that up too, you know. And so it's just been nonstop. I always liked sports, watching it, but never really got the opportunity to play. So like now being able to do it is just, you know, it's so much fun for me.
Interesting story. That is a nice story.
All stories, yeah.
So, who is the funniest person on you guys' team?
Me.
Well, I think, you know, me and you are pretty well up there, but our offensive coach is actually a comedian. So I would have to say he's probably the funniest person on the team.
He is pretty. I forgot he's new to the team.
He's a professional comedian.
He is paid to be funny.
Yeah, we have to say that.
Comedian kills. Yeah.
Who's the most serious then? The meanest.
The meanest?
The meanest or the most serious? Because that's two different things. I'd see the meanest is probably Gwen.
But not serious. You're right.
the most serious. You know, V's pretty. She's pretty serious. She gets out there. She can
focused,
get like intense, like scary.
She's scary at practice sometimes. She kind of causes me concern, but I support it though. Like,
wait, are you all right?
Yeah, like it'd be like, is that thing good at home? Like,
oh man. So, what's a typical off season like for you guys?
Well, I'll speak from the management side, and you can speak from the player side. Pretty much after the last game, you know, we tried to do check-ins, end-of-season check-ins, kind of see where everybody's head's at. Then from there, you know, you've got to take a break. I've got to get away from this stuff. So we would typically take about a month and just do nothing women's football related. You know, once you get into the regular season, everything pretty much revolves around women's football, and there's not a lot of time for other things. If you have a bye week, you're probably resting and recovering instead of, you know, going hiking or, you know, the things that you like to do. So, yeah, that about a month after the last game is probably, you know, the best time to kind of decompress, get away from things. After that, you know, you kind of come back to stuff, take a look at, you know, like I said, the player evaluations, talk to the coaches, you know, see how they viewed things, go in, start looking at some film, seeing exactly, you know, where your weaknesses and strengths were and what you need to do for the next season. So, yeah, I mean, I'd say the getting away from it is probably the most important, because you got to recharge. You got to be able to go back the next season, you know, full blast. So from a management aspect, you know, up until you get into that recruiting season, you're just trying to get a little bit of your sanity back. What about from the player side?
I was going to say, yeah, everybody leave each other alone for a little bit. There's not a lot of, spend all these weeks with people. I ain't gonna lie to you. I went to the point I muted like women's football for like a little bit because there was just so much on social media between, like you mentioned, all the different teams. Like all of that information came out right at the end of the season. So that's all anybody was talking about. You could end up in this little echo chamber every other post. I just needed some time to think about other stuff. For me, the season takes up so much time. I've been working a lot. So what I notice a lot of people do, several of us are like in kind of like gig work as far as like I DJ weddings. One of us a bartender for weddings, stuff like that. So our work kind of picks up then and recovering. I noticed a lot of our players this past, I'll say for me, I was kind of hurt a little bit, maybe it was the third game, but I wasn't going to the doctor until the season was over so I could go there. Don't want no bad news until, you don't have to worry about it anymore. And I'd say it's probably about 3 weeks, a month before everybody starts kind of missing each other. Hey, what are you doing? We need to go do something. We do the banquet in the off season. You forgot to mention that. So every season, maybe about 3 weeks after that last game, we'll do a team banquet, and everybody will get their awards. Everybody wins little prizes. Who was the MVPs of the year? Just recapping things. Again, that last, end of the thing. But like he was kind of saying, it kind of comes back around pretty quick. And I know for me, I'm always thinking like, well, what can we do better? So for me, like I took a break from people, but I was still like, well, we need to do this camp and we need to do this. And then when we practice, we got to do this. And we got to do these off camps and I got to do this. And so
you have to actually work at not doing this stuff. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I like taking a break. Like,
I
like getting away from football because it takes so much of your time up, especially being an older player and been doing it for some years now. I like to get away, recharge, because if I don't get away from it, I will hate it. Just like my job. If I don't take that break when I need to take it, I will hate it. And I don't think some people understand that at times. Like, I don't want to sit here and jump right back into football after the season. No, I need a break.
Yeah, a lot of people have. There's a lot of passion for women's football. I'll say that. That's probably one of the biggest differences. I've done the semi-pro thing before. Those guys, it's they just show up. For the women, they don't want to get away.
So, this segue is perfect. I was gonna say, so can I talk about Donita? So I'm like around them a lot and sometimes I can tell that me and Donita will be deep in the conversation about women's football, and Don will just be like, and he looks like, please leave. I was like, bless his heart. He's overwhelmed. He needs to get away from it from sometimes. And then normally by the time Donita's tired of talking about it, he's ready to talk about it. And I'm always down to talk about it. So,
So it's 24/7 football with you guys. Now, just
force and choice, I think.
I'd get burnt out though.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah.
So, what are you guys looking most forward to next season?
Honestly, winning more games. Last season, pride really got destroyed more than anything else. 1-5 is not good. So the number one thing is winning more games. That's what we're in this for. Obviously, we're trying to teach people a new sport and get them active, and help them with mental health and a little bit of money and things like that. But at the end of the day, we're in a results-oriented industry, and the results are winning games. So that's what we're looking forward to the most.
So would you say, did the morale go down or up, or was it, since you guys are so young, is there always lessons, even in losses? So sometimes you can take the good out of the bad.
I feel like we were up at the beginning of the season, and then especially, getting excited. We won our first game, right? But that was the developmental team. So like us that were up here, we were kind of like, that should have been a win. But everybody else is like, I'm riding high. So then as the season went, you go into that second game all high, and then reality hit. I think we went down in the middle of the season for various reasons, but I think we brought it back up. At the end of it, we made changes that we needed to make, had different mindsets, all kinds of stuff changed those last couple games, and I think we brought it back up by the end of it.
That makes excited to see you guys next season, especially you're a young team. So a lot of teams fail to develop their young players and just be like, all right, just go out there and play.
No, that's number one on our list is developing people. That y'all did not join our team just to, you know, stand around out there, get put in the spot. You all joined our team so that you could start at this level right here and go to this level right here. Development is our most important, you know, priority. Number one, definitely.
So I got a question for both of y'all. You may listen to music. What's on the playlist before a game?
The Mizfits anthem. Number one. I made that. Everybody likes Dreams and Nightmares. There's certain songs that I didn't care for that much until I joined the team. There's a girl that used to play with us named Cece, and Dreams and Nightmares was her song, and I associate that with her. And like every time but it, you know, it hypes me up. You had some randoms. What was that song out of the sailing song? It was somebody else's song. How Far I'll Go. That was somebody's pregame song, which I thought was strange. But we kind of just keep it hip hop, some good rock, anything from The Box. I think The Box was popular. That's a good song. Whatever comes on. What song do we do, Travis? Or any twerking song? Any of those good songs that make you wiggle? We like those.
In the locker room before the game.
We don't be twerking to it. I'm just saying that the concept. I'm just saying what happens, Coach. I'm sorry.
Hey, I feel I'm not as popular with music no more because half the stuff you just said, I'm like, what is that?
Oh, yeah. Come on, man.
Listen,
We made a Spotify playlist and we kind of tried to add to it as the season. That was the first time we did that last year. So we've got one on Spotify. It's the Music City Mizfits
I have to go find it.
pregame playlist. Yeah.
Because see, my friend that stays there, she actually makes my playlist before games.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'll be like,
Nice.
you put me something together to listen to. So
You
she
got
made my
to
playlist for the last couple of years.
Nice. Yeah.
Because I can't do it on Google and say what's popular.
I might need her information. Make me a playlist. There you go, right there.
My playlist. I listen to it on my flights too.
There you go.
So I make sure. So coach, well, you're not the coach since you're behind the scenes. The player. Do you have a playlist? Do you listen to some stuff before the games?
No. I generally try to sneak away probably about 30 minutes before kickoff and do a little bit of quiet reflection, meditation. I find that, you know, listening to music as a coach kind of hypes you up like a player does, and you don't need to be like that. So I try to do something to kind of quiet things down.
He's hype enough without the music.
Yeah, I don't need music.
No.
So are you superstitious?
To a degree.
I gotta do this routine before a game.
Yeah, to a degree. You know, like I said, doing the meditating, the breath work and stuff, I have to do that. I like to be comfortable in pregame, so I generally will wear the same T-shirt and the same pair of shorts for every single game. I don't know why I do that.
So I was gonna say, I wear the same like under stuff. I have. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess that would be a good superstition right there.
Yeah, I got a, what do you call it, baklava?
Yeah.
I got one of those, and like if I don't have it on, even if it's not pulled down, I just don't feel right, type of thing. I gotta have that on. Yeah.
Yeah, I have some superstitions as well.
What do you do?
I gotta have my armband on for one. Typically, I wear my Kobe undershirt.
Oh,
okay. Yeah.
So yeah, those are my two things I gotta have, and I gotta have my little thing for my hair, my Adidas cap on my head.
There you go.
Right, and that's not even a choice for me. I have to do something.
I don't have that sleeve. It's gonna be a bad
terrible.
And then I gotta get a nap. If I don't get a nap,
I don't think I could nap before a game. I'm just too hyped. There's no way.
I always get a little more nervous than I think I am. I'm always like, my friend just said, she's like, no, she's quiet before the game. I'm like, because I'm always a low-key, a little bit nervous. I got to think about going to the bathroom real quick. But I never have to go, but it crosses my, like stuff like that. I'm like, I'm just too focused into it to. But naps just sound good. I might try that this season.
So when you older,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah. With 7 p.m. game, I think I give me a little nap about 2.
Like I'm gonna go eat. Once I get through eat, I'm going to sleep until it's time to go to
the
waking up running the warm ups like, oh no, I'm so sad. That's good.
If I don't, I'm gonna be grumpy. Like when I get to the field, I'll be like, it be all in my face. Like, why are you bothering me right now?
Yeah, I can understand that.
So yeah, it's for the old, I'm a little
it's
older.
For them, not even you. I get it.
So yeah. So again, so you guys, your head coach, this is gonna be his first season, next season?
So we don't have a head coach yet.
Anybody, when y'all go back, you watch and you want to apply, you in Nashville, go apply.
Well, not the people in the chat right now, but
no.
yeah. So we've been talking to a couple of people, and I mean, honestly, for me, we need somebody who's going to be able to keep things together. We've got a good offensive coach. We need to get a good defensive coach, get somebody for the special teams, somebody's going to stay out of everybody's way, basically, and just kind of like direct traffic. So that's kind of what we're looking for in a head coach this season.
So you're not considering going back to the sidelines?
It's just too much stuff, man. It's just too much stuff.
I hate that.
He's going to be around. He's not going to be able to stay away, is what I predict. But we'll see. I'll miss him if he's not on the sidelines. But
I'll be nearby.
That's how we're going to hear you wherever you are.
I'm going to look up and I'm going to see. I'm like, I thought he said.
See, and that's why I kind of don't want to be around for that, right? I don't want to, have any sort of discrepancy at all. So.
Nobody's gonna say anything.
So next season, I'm gonna be looking forward to big things from you guys, and
absolutely.
From talking to you, already sound like you're gonna have a nice turnout for tryouts, and I think that's pretty dope because I was even looking at the Atlanta Rage. They were a pretty small team last year. And to see the amount of people at their tryouts was amazing. And it just shows the progress, even with 2 teams in the same area. It shows the progress of women's football.
I really like what the Rage has been doing since they come on the scene. We went and scrimmaged them before the regular season this past year. And, the fantastic people, fantastic organization.
Fantastic players. They was out there. We did all right, but it was. They deserve all of what they're getting. You know what I mean? So I'm proud of them too.
I get to see some of them. We play flag in Atlanta, so I get to see some. I got to see some of them and talk to one of their players last Sunday while we was there playing flag about their tryout. So I can't wait to see their October the 14th tryout because it can only grow from there. So,
I know the flag scene down there in Atlanta is really big.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is indeed. It's probably about 16. No, how many teams? We have about 15 teams right now. 15.
Really?
So, and they're pretty much all of Atlanta teams except for us. We're playing with a team that's actually from Birmingham, but you have a lot of the players from Mississippi playing, and that's just trying to build chemistry and work on some stuff together. So we're playing there. So this is our last weekend that we will be playing there. Last regular season week is next week, but of course we have tryouts here, so we couldn't play next weekend, and then we have playoffs coming up on the 22nd. But that flag scene is fun.
Yeah.
It gets wild sometimes because there's so many competitive teams. It's good competition out there. So.
Right.
So do you guys have flag teams there?
No, we don't really have women's teams out here,
of that.
And they have the co-ed. They do co-ed flag here, but they don't have just strictly women's teams.
And that's how it is in Mississippi. When I originally played here, we only had maybe 2 or 3 teams, and
I call it the watered down flag now that I have gotten to go play, because this will be my third regular season playing in Atlanta. And when I first went, I was like, wait, y'all kick the ball? Wait, I'm out. I got kickoffs and punts? Wait, I'm not used to this. So it was a lot to see and learn compared to what we had here.
Oh, that sounds like fun. I mean, I didn't even know they could do that in flag, so that's pretty cool.
You even kicking field goals if you got to kick them.
Man.
The only difference is when you're punting and you're kicking off, you cannot move until the ball is kicked.
Okay. Yeah, that kind of makes sense. Yeah.
So you talk about y'all play 8-man in first season. I'm like, the only 8-man I've ever played is flag. And it's contact. So I tell everybody it's more physical than tackle football at times.
That's what it's always looked like to me from the outside. I was like less protection and more contact.
That's it.
Especially when you got them linemen coming down for you. I had to tell somebody last Sunday, listen, I'm making a business decision. I know you coming to try to throw me out the way, but I'm going to move out the way. You got to think.
Yes.
So,
gotta think with that sometimes.
I'm making a business decision. I'm going to work tomorrow.
Heard that.
Flag growth. To me, women's flag is growing in certain parts, but I hope it grows everywhere. But I think it kind of is getting in the way of tackle. As far as, the publicity.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
We'll see.
I also think that so many people are against women playing regular football that, we'll give them flags so it's easier to promote that. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, I've noticed that the NFL has thrown their support behind the flag for everybody that's not a grown man.
Yeah. I agree.
So, yeah, it just buys into the fear of it, football. But I mean, I've never felt unsafe, playing, and that's the only argument to me that you could make about flag over tackle or tackle over flag. Is the contact. So
I almost forgot this one. Let's talk about you guys working with having the games at the Tennessee Titans Stadium, because you got a game coming up in December.
Yep. 17th.
So
Right.
Yeah. December 17th. So this is going to be our fourth season doing this with the Titans. We started doing it back in 2019. Able to that year we made it like a full.
It was like a round.
There was like 6 teams there.
Yeah.
We had to cut the time down a little bit since then. So we've only really had enough time to do the one game. So, but either way, the Titans have been incredible, helping us. Have a place to put our athletic talents on display. They let us do their ticket fundraiser for their home games. So this is actually our #1 fundraiser for the team. It's basically how we fund the team. It's a great experience. I can only imagine what it's like being on the field.
It is so much fun to see your face. You watch a play. Like the last one we were at, my little running back, she runs the touchdown, and I see me in the back setting a block for her, and it's on the screen, and you hear him saying, honey, you'd be like, I'm a superstar. It's very, it's very fun. And then, you get to watch the game before the game, so you get to have that experience with your teammates. I can't even say for sure, like all women's teams are all going to games together. So we're getting to go to this game together, sit with each other. That's just another experience. Then we get to get in the locker rooms. I know the very first year we were trying to sneak and see Patrick Mahomes because it was the Chiefs and the Titans, and they were blocking us from seeing him. So it's just, it's just electrifying. And then you go on the field and you're a little nervous for a second, and they run that first play, and then it's just like being on the field. It's the exact same,
They got to be a pretty dope experience.
Yeah, every year I look forward to it. I didn't get to do it one year. I was on the sideline. That was cool too. But it's just nice to to look around and seeing people support you. Now we ain't filled the whole stadium up yet, but we on the way. We gonna keep all the fans. Especially with
you gonna get that. But to be able to say, hey, we get to go play.
Oh yeah, everybody's always like, that's so cool. How do you get that? That's so awesome. Loving it.
Yeah. So, any closing remarks? I've enjoyed you guys on. You're welcome to come on at any time.
Thank you. It was fun. We do a lot of media stuff, but most of the time we're sitting here kind of having to explain the concept of women's tackle football. So it's nice to not have to do that and just talk football, man. I love it.
Yeah.
And I think
This is
go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
This
No.
the first live I hadn't cursed. So.
Yeah.
I think we all did pretty good.
Good
All
job,
right.
everybody.
Yeah.
This was my, I think, first interview that I remember doing like this ever. So this is.
You've never done a live before?
Mm-mm.
Wow.
No. I was over here like, what I need to do? So So this has been fun for me. I'm just looking. You said closing remarks, so I'm just looking forward to what our team's gonna do, what I'm gonna do individually, what our team's gonna do as a group, what the league's gonna do, what all of the leagues are gonna do. You know, there's nothing but opportunity. So I'm just looking forward to seeing how we're gonna take advantage of it. You know, what new creative ways that we can, you know, blow up. You know, grow this thing. So that's what I'm looking forward to. That's what makes football fun for me.
Same.
Mm-hmm.
See, I almost cursed though, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. I normally curse. I tell everybody that I am unfiltered.
You played it off so well, nobody will ever notice.
I kind of speak. I'm the type I speak my mind. I say, comes to my mind. And if I disagree with something, any league, even the league I'm playing, and if I disagree with something, I'm very vocal on here about this as well. If you watch any of, I can't be me if I can't speak my mind. So
I prefer direct people. I got to be honest with you. Too many people BS nowadays.
It's true.
But
yeah, I'm the one you don't put on camera if you don't want. If you don't ask me if you don't want the truth.
So for everybody most people go back and watch, and now I'm on YouTube. I'm on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple. They'll pull this and go put it on there. So that's because honestly, I was taking a break from this before I got hit up about, hey, we want you to join our podcast, and we want to be able to show your stuff on YouTube and this and that. So I was like, well, I guess I can't take a break for the off season, so why not pick it back up? Because one of my teammates was just messing with me last week. She was like, you don't never have nobody from the Pacific. I'm like, see, I do not have people from out there. It's coming next month. I was like, so I and most teams I reach out to, sometimes in both leagues, it's frustrating at times because they be like, well, you have to ask our owner. Can you speak with them? And I'm like, wait, this is too much. Like me personally as a player, I think you should let your players be able to go out and speak and talk. But
let me tell you about the level of the same thing in Ohio. You got to go through some clearance to get to some people. I'm finding out, and I didn't think it, but I mean, and it's cool, but like, yeah, it kind of does make it difficult. It makes it a little scary to approach sometimes, but.
Yeah, I guess it makes it harder to market too.
Yeah.
If that's the situation, you know. You should be able to talk freely about what your opinions are on things. And honestly, I can see why some teams wouldn't want some people doing that because, you know, loose lips sink ships or whatever. But, you know, it's 2023 going into 2024. What have you not heard anybody say nowadays? You know what I'm saying? So,
Facts.
I ran into that roadblock a couple of times, which is frustrating because it's just like, I opened this platform so not only players, but fans, everybody can get to know the players.
Right.
Unfiltered. You know, get to know you being you, not seeing you on the field.
Right.
So, I guess everybody don't think the same. So.
That's the thing I think that we have, you know, to be able to spotlight our people in a way that, you know, humanizes them and makes that connection with the viewers. So I see a lot of the women's teams and athletes getting a lot better at doing that.
Yeah.
We're gonna keep working. I'm gonna keep working on it. We're gonna keep working.
I love what you're doing. It's great.
Yeah, this is cool.
Thank you. Like I said, you guys are welcome on here anytime.
Thank you so much.
I already follow y'all, and I try to keep up. You guys are one of the teams I try to follow and see who's doing what. So I can't wait to see what you guys are gonna do next season. I know you're gonna kill it this off season as well as tryouts. And like I said, I'll be looking forward to talking to y'all soon.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
All right. Y'all have a good one.
You too.
Take care.